Hello, guys. Today we are going to explore the human body in detail. So, we're going to look at cells, the basic units of life, and different systems that helps our body work, such as digestion, muscles, circulation, breathing, and much more. Okay, let's get started. All living organisms, like plants, animals, and humans, are made out of cells. A cell is the smallest unit of life that is function on its own. Each cell does all the important jobs in the body you need to survive. This is an animal cell, so the nucleus is the control center, like the brain of the cell. The cytoplasm is where chemical reactions happen. The mitochondria are the powerhouse that makes the energy for the cell, and the cell membrane controls what goes in and what goes out of a cell. Guys, you need to know these components, and you need to know which their functions are. So you need to know what's a nucleus, you need to know what's a cytoplasm, the cell membrane, and the mitochondria. Do you see there's also much more? You need to know all of them. I can give you an animal cell and say label the whole cell for me, or I can say draw me an animal cell with full detailed, and you need to draw it exactly like this. So please go through it and know how to draw it. Next is a plant cell. So plant cells have the same parts as an animal cell, but they also have some extra. The cell wall provides support. So something that the animal cell doesn't have that the plant cell has is a cell wall. So it provides support to make the plant stronger. Chloroplasts to help the plant make its own food using sunlight. That's where photosynthesis come from. And remember, why can't the animal cell have it? Because animals and humans doesn't they don't make their own food. Plants make their own food, and then the vacuole that stores nutrients. If you want, you can pause the video and take a screenshot of this slide. This gives you a little bit of detail and information of the components of a living cell. Okay, let's start with the digestive system. So, digestion is the process of breaking down food when we eat so our bodies can use the nutrients. The digestive system is a long tube made up of organs that helps break into small useful parts. So, you need to know each function and each body part and organ that helps the digestive system break down the food till the end of the digestive system where the food goes out. Okay, digestion is breaking down small food, nutrients absorb into your body, and it involves organs from working together. So you can go look in your textbook to know what organs we are talking about here and what their functions are. Okay, food follows this path through our bodies. So it starts in the mouth where you eat the food, and then it goes down to a few organs in your body till it reaches your stomach. And then where it's mixed with acids, remember there's lots of acids in your stomach, so it gets mixed there. And then it goes through your small and large intestines before leaving the rectum and or anus. That is where your food leaves your body. So each part of the digestive system has a special job. The stomach mixes the food and the acid breaks it down. And then your intestines absorbs the nutrients and water before getting rid of what's left. You need to know the functions of each organ. It is very, very, very important. Okay, these are key terms that you need to know for your exam. So, digestion is when food is broken down to small pieces. Enzymes help speed things up, And absorption is when those nutrients move into the blood. Guys, I quickly just want to let you know here. Please also know the definitions how they are in your textbook, not just like they are here. This is just remember a summary of all your work. Okay, here you can see a nice video recording that you need to know and how your body looks and what organs are used for the digestive system. The muscular system. We have three types of muscles. The skeletal muscles helps us move and we can control them. That's basically our legs. You can control if you want to move your legs or not. Your smooth muscles, they are found in places like your stomach and these muscles so this muscles only comes also in your heart and it works all the time without you thinking about it. So you can't really control it. It just moves on its own. Some muscles we move by choice, like when we walk or pick up something. Others, like the heart, stomach, they work automatically. You can't control for your heart to say, okay, stop beating now, or your stomach stop working now. You can't control it. But for instance, if I say pick up the cup next to you, you can pick it up. So that's the difference between voluntary and involuntary muscles and movements. The the circulatory system is like the delivery services. So basically, what I'm talking about here is your heart. The heart pumps the blood through the arteries to the rest of the body. Veins bring it back, and blood carries everything to the cells you need to live. So, guys, you need to know what's an artery, you need to know what's a vein, and you need to know what's type of blood we get. You also need to know the pathway and the direction blood goes and blood with oxygen goes. That's where usually that on this picture, the blue veins basically, that's the veins that usually have the blood with oxygen, and the ones that are red, they don't have oxygen in them at that moment. And then your blood pumps, puts oxygen into your bloodstream, takes it through your body, and then the cycle continues. When we breathe in, oxygen goes into our lungs. Blood picks it up and takes it into the cells. Cells use the oxygen and sends the carbon dioxide back to the lungs, and we breathe it out. So you need to know that, and that's why again you can see on this picture the red is where the organs doesn't have oxygen yet, and then the blue is where the oxygen is still in. So it's when you breathe in oxygen, it goes through your bloodstream, through your lungs, through your heart, and then when you breathe out, because of that whole process, you breathe out carbon dioxide. When we breathe in, oxygen goes into the lungs and blood picks it up. We take it into the cell and cells use oxygen and sends the carbon dioxide back into the lungs and we breathe out again. I'm repeating this because I want you to know how important this system is. You can also see it on this video. The respiratory system. So, our respiratory system helps us breathe. The nose takes in the air and moves down through the trachea and the bronchi into the lungs. The diaphragm helps us breathe in and out. Remember to look in your book for the labeled diagram of the respiratory system, guys. This one is very, 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 very important. You need to know how to draw the system, how to know, you need to know all the sketches of the system and how to label them. Okay, so yeah, you can see the video where the oxygen goes in and where it goes through your lungs, and then carbon dioxide, the yellow part, is going out. Inside the lungs, there are tiny sacs called alveoli. Here, oxygen goes into the blood and carbon dioxide leaves the blood. This is how we take in what we need and what is removed, what we don't want and need in our body. The excretory system removes waste and from our body. The kidneys clean the blood, the uterus moves the urine to the bladder, and the utera lets it out. Remember to look in your books for the labeled diagrams on the system as well. The system is very, very important. You need to know where each organ sits. You need to know where the kidneys are, where the is, where the bladder is, and where the utera is. Guys, the uterus and the utera, they are two completely different organs and sit completely at different places, and they are very close in spelling. So please just check before you label that. The reproductive system in males. So, in males, the reproductive system makes and delivers the sperm. The testes make sperm, and the sperm travels through the tubes and is delivered by the penis. Guys, you need to know how to label this sketch as well. Okay. In the females, the ovaries releases eggs. The eggs move throughout the fallopian tubes, and if sperm meets the eggs here, the fertilization happens after this took place. The fertilized egg can then grow into a baby inside the uterus. So basically, the sperm goes in to the eggs, ovaries in the eggs, then they get fertilized. Then they go back to the uterus. The egg will place itself into onto the uterus, and then there is where the baby will wait and grow until it's ready to come out. So each month, the ovaries releases an egg. This is called ovulation. If you don't ovulate, you can't have babies and reproduce. If the egg is fertilized by a sperm, pregnancy can begin. If not, the lining of the uterus is shed, and this is called menstruation. These three words are very, very important. Fertilization, this is when the sperm and the egg joins. Ovulation, this is when the egg is released. And menstruation is the bleeding that happens in an egg if an egg is not fertilized, and that usually happens every 28 days. And you need to know even the days. So, study tips. To study well, practice labeling all your diagrams. So, all of the systems, you need to know how to label them, how to draw them, everything that possibly can happen with a diagram, you need to know how to do. What can help is to make flashcards and remember your keywords and definitions, and to explain each system in your own words. Put the systems in your own words. If it's more or less the same thing, I can't mark it wrong, and it has to be correct. And remember, this is only revision. You have to know all the work in your textbook, in your writing books, and go through all the other videos also on Google Classroom. This is only summarized in no detailed at all. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I hope you have learned something new and understand the work better, and to know what to focus on. Remember, I'm going to make another video of term two's work. This is only term one's work. I hope you have learned something, and if you have any questions or want me to explain something again, just let me know. I'm here to help you. Thank you, guys.